There we go. And yo, we are live. And what's up for you guys watching this on the YouTube replay? Here's how it works here. I'm going to be showing you my entire stock portfolio first, and then I have a stock of the day I want to share with you. It's a stock that I really like, and then we're going to be looking at some of your stocks. And today's an interesting day because the market's at all-time highs. Let me just start it over here with my Robinhood dividend growth account. This is my main account right here. And we are up 1.23 or 1.25% on the day, pretty good. And year to date, we are up 3.9%. That's pretty in line with the market. Like if you go to the S&P 500 right here, the SPY, if you look at them year to date, that is not the SPY. The S&P 500 year to date is up 3.72%. So we've nearly done the exact same as the S&P 500. Here's every stock that I own in here. All these are dividend paying stocks. So all these companies pay a dividend. Most of them are like dividend growth companies, as you know, like a Meta, Google. McDonald's is a pretty heavy payer though. And here's my total percent change on every stock. So luckily in this account, we are up on every single holding in here. And as well as our Roth IRA, we have a small Roth IRA in here. Look at that. We're up nearly 3% on the day. I think this one's at like close to all-time highs. Yeah, look at that. I mean, it's only $1,000, but hey, it looks like our Roth IRA is pretty much at an all-time high right now, which is pretty cool. These are the three stocks that we own in here. Our main winner has been InnoData down here. Yeah, look at that. They just updated. They're up 47% right now. But anyway, that is our dividend growth portfolio in our Roth IRA. And this account right here is my risk-on account. A lot of these stocks are really risky, and all time we're up 10% in here. So we really haven't had like the most amazing performance in here. We're up 10% all time, nothing crazy, but we have some winners in here, some good winners. Like we have Dave, dude, Robinhood. This is my first ever stock to do this. Robinhood, we're up 500% on them. I still don't believe it. So, that just showed just buy and hold on for the long run. Great companies. I mean, Robinhood's mainly done well because of crypto and stuff, but also AMD. AMD has been finally recovering. We're up 15% on them. I want to show you that right here. Like ever since April, in April, they fell to literally $80. They were $81 and now they're $145. They're up like 80% off the bottom. So AMD has had a very nice recovery. Same with NVIDIA. NVIDIA is pretty much at all-time highs. Another NVIDIA proxy, they install stuff for you, as I like to say. Super microcomputer. I got 10 shares of them, up 86%, not bad. Reddit. And then we have some losers. We don't all just got winners. Like, look, we're down bad on UiPath. We're down 1,000 on them. Zoom has been not doing too good. And Krispy Kreme, dude, Krispy Kreme. Good thing I only have like literally $40 in this company, but Krispy Kreme, they had a partnership. They're about to go bankrupt. Krispy Kreme's only worth $400 million. They were going to go into a partnership with McDonald's, and then it never happened. McDonald's canceled the partnership. And then anyway, here's my last portfolio I haven't shown you yet. This is my Moomoo buy and hold for the long run portfolio, and my account's at an all-time high today. We're at an all-time high. It feels great. All these stocks have been crushing it, except for Perion Network. We're still down 52% on this company right here. But yeah, all these other stocks like Comfort Systems, we're up 40%. Amazon's been doing great. Amazon is secretly a robotics play. They're a robotics, a cloud, a space, e-commerce play. They're so cool. But yeah, if you guys got any stocks you want to look at, let me know. And yo, what's up, Daniel? He said CDLR. Yeah, what's up, man? Thanks for showing up to the YouTube stream. Yo, I'm streaming on both YouTube and TikTok right now. And check this out. So I've never heard of this company. They're a European company called Cadler. I don't know. So we'll switch their currency to US dollars just for easily understanding them. So they do time charter services and transportation. Okay, so that's transportation stock. Are they profitable? That's what we want to know. So they are profitable. That's the good news. So this company is making some net income. It's a little choppy, but in the past year, they've been very profitable, making net income every quarter. And that's real net income that they're making. And the growth has been very solid. I mean, yeah, look at how their assets have grown. This one's actually pretty unique. And they just IPO'd. So they are a European company, but I wonder if they're like an Uber competitor or something. That's interesting. I should have bought when it was down. Oh, I should have bought a mid. Wait, maybe. What am I just clicking? Maybe he means this stock right here, AMID. Oh, so this is a mid cap ETF right here. So okay, if you're looking for like some mid cap exposure through an ETF, this could be it. Let's see what its top holdings are, because that's what really makes up the ETF. It's Fortinet, HCA Healthcare. I haven't heard of any of these other ones. Comfort Systems, yo, that's my largest holding. I got 6,000 in that stock. Here's my position in this stock right here. I'll click on it. Look, I've been dollar cost averaging into this stock right here. If you want to buy a stock, I recommend, not financial advice, but you should slowly buy into the stock. in dollar cost average instead of just spending all your money at once, But that doesn't always work. Like, look, this stock down here, I dollar cost average with all these little B's. Those are where I bought the stock. I slowly bought into it, but the stock's still at an all-time low. So you want to make sure you're buying a high-quality company. So anyway, let's keep going here. Joe, what's up, dude? He said, thoughts on RR bounce back. I think that's Rich Tech Robotics. And here's the one thing I don't like about this company. As you know, I like to look at the fundamentals because if you're buying a stock, you're probably buying them for the long run. And here's why it's hard to trust Rich Tech Robotics in the long run, especially compared to like an Amazon or a Symbiotic. The whole company is worth $229 million. So that's a very small market cap, like micro cap. They're worth $200 million. And look at their sales. They're $1 million a quarter. They pretty much have no sales. And they're losing a lot of net income. But so basically, this company doesn't have the patents or the IP as like all the other robotics plays. So Rich Tech Robotics, I just don't see any real fundamentals there, sadly. And that's why but if they do improve, they're only a $200 million company for a reason. If they can improve, then that could be a fun swing trade or something. I don't know. But I'd just be careful with that one because they literally have $1 million of sales and lose more and more money. So what's up, man? The Roach, he said, thoughts on ENGS Stock. Look at that. They literally IPO'd just a few weeks ago. So there's not much history behind this company. So we'll still look at them. But yeah, look in the top right. This is what's scary to me. You see market cap, this whole company is worth 24 million. So these are just very small companies. And they're, they do have revenue. Look at that. So they're doing like, for the full year 2024, they did 9 million of sales. I mean, and nothing's just blowing me away here. I got to do some more research on them. I apologize. I probably wasn't too helpful. Say you wanted to put $500 in a stock, what would your strategy DCA into it? Yeah, like you just maybe spend like $100 a week on the stock or maybe $50 a week. And that's the most for sure way to like invest in an asset. And like, you're not just, because you could be buying at a wrong time. So like this stock right here, like in Amazon, I've been doing the same thing. I just buy whenever it feels right. And sometimes like, I just buy no matter what. I'll just buy every week because why not? Like I did right here. See, look at this. Is so unfortunate. And here's why DCA doesn't work. Like you could buy a stock, but the company could just be not high quality. And look at this. I keep buying it. It just keeps on going lower. So you want to just, again, make sure you're buying a high quality company with good fundamentals. Yeah, what up, JYM? Hope you're having a good day. Yeah, here's my main account, by the way. I'll show you. I haven't looked at this in a second. Here's my main account. How are we doing on the day? We're up 1.14%. Hey, how's y'all's portfolio doing on the day? Must be green. Our only stock down on the day is McDonald's. I guess McDonald's is struggling, but everything else is green. Let's go. Here's my total percent change on every stock. We're up on Meta, barely up on Google. So let's see. Yo, Not Fates, how's it going, man? We're finally unbanned. DS said check JD stock. JD? This is the Chinese company. So let's check them out right here. So they trade at a low valuation, first of all, just because they're Chinese and they won't get a crazy multiple. But yeah, they do retail, logistics. How's their logistics business doing? Hey, look at that. It like goes up every year. But what about the net income? How profitable are they? And wow, this is in US dollars, by the way. This is incredible. They're making nearly $2 billion of net income every quarter. So that's good money they're making. Or they do have a dividend. They just started a dividend. No way. Or was it like a special dividend? I don't know, but it looks like they're a shareholder for the company. I bet they're doing buybacks as well. So let's see. Have you seen Aero Environment? I have not. What's the ticker symbol for that one? We can check it out. What Mag 7 stocks are you buying into? Well, I've been buying up. I bought Amazon like a couple of days ago. I bought a share. Look at that perfect kind of timing. I bought a share of Amazon at 207. So I own Amazon, Google, and Meta. These two down here. I own Google and Meta. I really like those Mag 7 stocks. I also love Microsoft. They're great as just a buy and hold for the long run. So can DLO be the next big fintech? So, hey, let's check it out. So D-Local fintech right here. Let's see, $3.5 billion company. So they do have a decent market cap. Let's see, transaction revenues. That's 98% of their business. And look at that. The revenue hits like a new record every quarter. Like last quarter, it slowed down a little, but I mean, it just keeps on hitting a new record. That's good news. I like the growth there, and they're profitable. Hey, this one definitely could. I mean, there's no chance of bankruptcy here. They're making a lot of net income, and the net income's growing. Let's see the margins. Yeah, dang, the margins are 20%. That's really good. I like DLO. Mason said, can you look at IREN? What's this one? IREN. Oh, this one's on my watch list. Okay, let's check it out. Look at that. They're up 11% on the day. So that's great. Let's see if we can see anything about this company. So they just went profitable. Hey, that's great. Look at that. So in the two most recent quarters, they made net income, and a lot of it, 25 million. Whoa. Okay, this is why I added the stock to the watch list. I love companies that are growing, just their sales organically. And check this out. The revenue's up 166% year over year. That's crazy. Yo, what's up, Spread the Wealth? Yo, I got to sub to your channel real quick. I don't think I've done that. Yeah, hey, go support my friend if you want to subscribe to him. Anyway, IREN, I can see why people like this stock. They're up 166%. Incredible. Or the revenue is. So let's see. Fair Value Gary said, is similar SMLR, are they profitable? Well, I'll check it out for you. And if you want to check out if a company is profitable, all you got to do is go to their net income and their income statement. And let's see, what's the market cap? So a $500 million company. So let's just look at this from you would at any other stock. So the whole company, so this is really bad news. Look at this right here. You see the revenue went from 15 million to 8 million. So the revenue has collapsed. It's down 44%. That's very bad news. And if we look at the net income, so here's the thing. They were profitable. Yo, Spread the Wealth. I know that's you, man. What's up? Oh, it's Ryan. But look at this. This is what you want to look at to see if a company is really profitable. It actually just went negative in the most recent quarter. So in the trailing 12 months, yes, they are profitable, but in the most recent quarter, they lost money, and that kind of aligns with the declining sales. Sales down 44%, the profits are going to be down, or they were negative. So the future is not looking too bright for this company. I'd be careful with that one with the huge sales decline. Up 11% today. Yo, Anthony, no way, dude. You're doing great. Really? PSIX, Dan said, yo, wow, look at this stock. They're at an all-time high. That's an incredible chart, dude. So congrats if you own this stock, first of all. You got to be up. And they're a small market cap, so a $1.5 billion company. So not huge market cap. So there could even be some more upside potential. I wonder what the news was. So they had a huge beat on revenue. Analysts were expecting 106 million. They reported 135. And they beat double on net income. That's crazy. And more than double on EBITDA. So, and they're profitable. Dude, I can see why people, I'm going to add them to my watch list right here. I can see why people like this stock. Everything's in the right direction. Wait, this company's only worth $1.5 billion and they're making 20 million a quarter and it's going to grow. This one, I got to look at more into them, but there could be even some more upside potential here. And I buy those kind of stocks too. Here's one that I bought this stock. Look at them the past 5 years. Here's a stock I own, by the way. I'm up 48% on them. But this stock, look at them. They're up 3,500% the past 5 years. These companies, I still think there's more upside potential in some of these as long as the fundamentals are growing. So I didn't buy the dip on them. Exactly. I mean, I'm up 48 and the past 5 years, they're up 3,000. So I think if a company really has good fundamentals, they'll usually just keep on growing. And here's a stat that not a lot of people know, and this is true. When a company hits a new 52-week high or a new all-time high, it's statistically followed by a cluster of more all-time highs and more new all-time highs. But the same is true in the opposite direction. If a company hits a new 52-week low, an all-time low, statistically followed by a bunch of more 52-week lows. Anyway, let's keep going here. Look at some more stocks. Can you look at Marvel Technologies? Yeah, dude, this one, they finally are profitable. That's great news for this company. Before today, they've really been struggling. They've been kind of flat on the 4-year chart because they've been struggling to get profitable, but now they're finally profitable. So check this out. If we go to the net income, look at them the 2 most recent quarters. They made $200 million each quarter. If we zoom out to last year, look at this. They're always burning hundreds of millions in net income for the longest time. They're finally profitable now. That's real money. They have a strong balance sheet. So anyway, what about free cash flow? This is what FCF stands for. They're making hundreds of millions of free cash flow a quarter, and they pay a dividend, so they can afford that dividend now. Great news. I do like Marvel. Zurup, how are you doing today? He said MU stock. So yeah, Micron Technologies. This one's crushed it the past week here. Same with NVIDIA. Same with all the semiconductor stocks. AMD has done great. Micron has done great. NVIDIA is at all-time highs. They're worth a ridiculous 3.7 trillion. But here's Micron right here. Micron is a NVIDIA competitor, and they do the same computer networking type stuff as NVIDIA does. Check this out. That's half their revenue, and look at the growth of this. This is why MBU deserves the hype. Their revenue is doubled. It's up 108% from the previous year. Look at that growth. And if we look at their next biggest segment of revenue, the SBU business, the storage business is up 53%. Basically, Micron's just growing like crazy, and they're profitable now. Look at these net incomes. They're net income positive. They made over $1 billion in the most recent quarter. When if you look at last year, look at this. They were losing over $1 billion a quarter. So they've really turned things around, and that's what I like about Micron. You get a small dividend. Yeah. Did you get banned? Yeah, dude, my main account, Nathan Robert, got perma-banned. And I sent in a request. They're like, oh, we'll get back to you if we need you. And that was like a week ago. So I think my main account, Nathan Robert, just permanently banned. And yo, I promise you, this TikTok account stream is going to get taken down. So if you're watching the stream and it randomly goes down, it's because TikTok took me down. If you want to support me, please go subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm streaming on there as well. My YouTube channel is called Nathan Robert. But anyway, let's keep going right here. Ian said Robinhood has been killing it. Dude, that's my best performing stock of all time. Check this out. So if you head over here to my risk on portfolio, I'm up 500% on Robinhood. You know, too bad. I sold all my shares or most of my shares way low, way lower. But Robinhood all-time high today. They just, I don't know if they deserve their current valuation because it is really stretched, but look at this right here. Just incredible revenue growth. Revenue's up 50%. They're just a high growth fintech. And also, they're now net income positive. The banks are taking Robinhood serious. Analysts are taking Robinhood serious. They're super profitable now because here's what we used to look at for Robinhood. They used to lose hundreds of millions a quarter. So Robinhood is really being taken serious now, and I think that's being priced in the company, so that's cool. The same with AMD. People are finally starting to, and SoFi. People are taking AMD seriously now. People are taking SoFi seriously. SoFi did used to lose a lot of money too. But anyway, let's keep going here. Yo, what's up, XQC? He said VOO. Let's check that one out. And then we'll look at GILD and Affirm. Oh, that's the buy now, pay later stock. So look at the S&P 500, pretty much all-time high today. So congrats if you own them. And the top holdings, of course, in the S&P 500 are just, you know, why is Microsoft the largest holding? Because I think NVIDIA is the largest. Maybe it's not updated, but it's market cap weighted. You know, all the top companies, market cap weighted. And check this out. Look at the market cap of, let's go find it. Look at NVIDIA. It's in the top right, $3.8 trillion market cap. Microsoft's at 3.7, Apple's at 3. Amazon's almost coming for Apple. Hold up. I do like Amazon. All right, let's keep going here. MOD stock. What is this one? So Modline Manufacturing. So look at this one. They've done insane since 2020. They've done great. They are kind of flat on the year. Let's go check out the fundamentals here. So the PE is the 29, trading at 29 times net income. So they're in climate solutions. Yo, climate solutions, I need that right now. You know how hot it is outside? Yo, I have no shirt on because it's so hot right now in my room. And I have the fan on full blast. Hopefully you can't hear the fan. But anyway, the revenue's done great on their climate solutions. I mean, maybe they repair HVACs, I don't know. But the revenue's done great. It's at a record. Let's see about profitability. Yeah, look at that. They're making $50 million of net income a quarter. So very profitable, $200 million a year. No dividend, but that's all right. They're probably doing a lot of stock buybacks. So, Affirm. This is the buy now, pay later stock. So has anyone heard of Affirm? I don't recommend you do that. Like you go buy something, you pay it in full. Anyway, Affirm Holdings, they've done great. And they're finally profitable. I mean, first off, look at this revenue growth. I wonder if you can see it back here. No, it's not going to load it. Well, you can kind of see it. Look, in 2020, the full year, the revenue was $500 million. Now it's $2.3 billion. So, you know, the revenue has very much increased, and so is the profits. Look at the FCF free cash flow. They're making a couple $100 million of free cash flow a year, but most of that gets eaten in stock-based comp. So they're just now getting profitable in the two most recent quarters, which is great news. That Affirm's probably going to be profitable this time next year, or fully profitable. So investors are liking that one. But if we go into a recession, I think the buy now, pay later stocks are going to get smoked. People just won't pay back those loans. Yo, Sid, what's up, man? You said, are you heavily invested in crypto? I am not heavily invested in crypto. I barely have any crypto exposure. I got like Robinhood stock though. But yeah, I like crypto though. And Bitcoin's at like over 100K. They've done great. Oh yeah, VTI. Yeah, this is another ETF. A lot of people just like to buy ETFs instead of individual stocks. Takes risk off the table. So look at this. This is the total stock market ETF. So it owns a little bit of every stock. Probably all the Robinhood. It owns some Actually, I don't know about other Yeah, I think it owns international stocks. So it owns companies that are outside the US. Yeah. Someone said Rolls-Royce. This ETF owns some Rolls-Royce. And you know what? Let's go look at Rolls-Royce. That's ticker symbol RYCEY. They're not an American company, but wow, look at them. You know, a lot of people, when I say Rolls-Royce, probably think about the car, but Rolls-Royce, way more of the revenue comes from aerospace and defense. Look at that stock price. They literally went from $1 to 13. That's crazy. But yeah, they're in aerospace. And yeah, look at that. So half the revenue comes from aerospace. Then they're in defense, power systems. So, you know, I really like Rolls-Royce, and they're profitable now. For the full year 2024, they made $3 billion in net income. So honestly, Rolls-Royce is crushing it. Hey, thanks for the follow, Jeff. Yeah, if y'all want to hit the follow button, hit the like button. I'd really appreciate that. I don't sell anything. I'm just on here to give my opinion. And this is not financial advice. When should we start investing into companies that provide fuel for nuclear fusion? Well, normal nuclear reactors are just powered by uranium. And if you want to buy uranium, you could buy ticker symbol URA. And actually, it's kind of tough to do that right now. Look at them. They're pretty much at like a new 52-week high today. Uranium has been crushing it. And that's because Trump has been very friendly with nuclear. He loves nuclear energy. And this owns a lot of the top uranium companies. And Cameco, CCO, best uranium company out there. I would probably just rather buy that individual stock than the ETF. But that's that. Yo, Ashish, what's up, man? How are you? I'm from Mumbai, India. That's very cool, man. What's up, dude? If you got a stock you want me to look at, let me know. Hope you're having a good day. When is VOO dividend coming soon? Yeah, you just check the pay date. That's super easy to do. Super Duper said, can we look at AVAV? Let's check it out. Oh, so Aero Environment. Wow, look at them. All-time high today. Looks like they just reported earnings. Maybe we could look at the earnings a little bit. Wow, they beat estimates like crazy. You know what? Let's go see. So what do they do? Uncrewed systems, loitering munition systems. But who cares what they do? I mean, look at the growth of the business. I mean, that's nuts. It just grew 87% from the previous year. I mean, that's crazy. And they're profitable. They made net income. You know what? I'm going to add AVAV to the watch list. It's kind of tough to buy them right now at all-time highs, but yo, congrats if you own them. Nice, man. Up 49% in 3 months. Really, dude, that's crazy. How do you feel about HIMS after the dip? Yeah, dude, HIMS. So what happened here was Novo Nordisk was going to supply HIMS GLP-1 weight loss prescription, but then they basically called HIMS a fraud and abruptly ended the partnership, which was so weird, and that's why the stock fell so much. But for right now, the fundamentals on HIMS are the best ever. I mean, no other company is growing like this. The company's revenue has doubled. It's up more than that. It's up 110% from the previous year. The HIMS revenue is at an absolute record, and that's the good news. And the profitability is too. The free cash flow is up 300%. The net income's up 300%. I mean, everything about the company is at a record. They have no debt, great balance sheet. They have a bunch of cash. The cash is earning interest, so I love that. I do like them, but the future is the stock is trading down because the future is a little uncertain with if they can sell the weight loss, and the weight loss prescriptions made a lot of profit for them. Yo, Applesauce, what's up, man? Oh, yo, someone said, what's your Instagram? Yo, I don't have an Instagram. Watch out for people impersonating me. I don't have an Instagram. I don't have a Discord. I don't have a WhatsApp. I have none of that. So please watch out for people impersonating me. But anyway, and I'll never follow you either. But let's look at Rocket Lab right here. This is my favorite space stock right here, one that sells space systems. And they have a huge backlog. This company has like a $1.5 billion backlog of orders that they haven't fulfilled yet. And look at this. This is what I look for in a company, ones that are truly growing their fundamentals. And look at their space systems revenue right here. It's up 45% from the previous year. I mean, that's incredible growth. So I think it aligns with the stock price. You know, I feel like the stocks that I see, and I've been in the market for many years and I'm not an expert, but the stocks that truly go up and keep going up are the ones with good fundamentals. You know, like that's why Lucid and what's that one? It's not GameStop. Actually, GameStop hasn't done great either, but AMC has done awful. Do you have any good stocks for now? Yo, I think Google is at a really good price right now. One stock I've been buying up is COKE, Coca-Cola Consolidated. You can see where I buy the stocks as well. Each one of the buy points is where I've been buying them. I've been buying some Coca-Cola Consolidated. I've been buying some Amazon. Actually, just like 2 days ago. Yeah, check that out. Kind of bought the dip on them at a good time, but I bought them at 207. A little bit more of them, so they're cool. Oh yeah, let me show you my other portfolios, by the way. I'll be quick about this, then we'll get back to the stock analysis. No way, hold on, that can't be real. InnoData is up 9% on the day now. Yo, hold on. I had like this fake option. Hold on. Let's go see. This app right here has like an option trading challenge. And dang, I'm in 433rd place from my, I bought a call on InnoData. It's up 80%. Okay, you know what? Anyway, what was I looking at? Oh yeah, here's my portfolio. Yeah, this is my main dividend growth portfolio right here. Looks like the market's doing great right now. Look at that. We're at a new intraday high. So congrats if you own stocks. You gotta be doing good today. And the market just at an all-time high. The S&P 500. You look at them, which is just SPY. It's always been a good buy. So anyway, let's keep going back here. I started investing a month ago, made $6. What do you recommend to make more? Hey, it's just a game of like investing more. I mean, you probably made a good percent. I don't know it's hard to talk in dollar wise. You probably made a good percent. Like, hey, I made 5%. How do I get more than 5%? I wouldn't try and. I just do what's right. Buy and hold great companies for the long run. Buy like an Amazon or a Google, a Meta. Uh, you know, Let's see. But that's awesome that you started a month ago, dude. You've made a great step. Your future self will thank you. Because I remember I put like $20, $30 in my first like month and when I turned 18. Anyway, so here's someone said Lululemon. Yo, this is unfortunate. Lululemon, their guidance has not been good, but I still think this one might be at a decent valuation. Again, they just sell a commodity. They just sell like shorts and leggings and stuff like that. I think most of their revenue, it comes from the US. Well, look at this right here. We can see their number of stores. Let's see. It was 767. Now it's 770. So, hey, Lululemon has 770 stores. And this is the good news, that they're making net income every quarter. They're actually going to be making more net income than Nike if Nike keeps up this downtrend. But this is what's crazy right here. Or this is why the stock is down. Excuse me. Look at this right here. You see the green number under the revenue? The revenue grew 7.3% year over year. So the revenue grew 7. But look at the net income. It actually declined 2%. So what does that mean? That means their margins are really getting hurt. Could be tariffs. It could be pricing power. It could be anything. But the net margin here collapsed 9%. So I think that kind of analysts didn't love that. And I think the future might have been. Oh, yo, Rose Gold, what's up? Said QUBT. Hey, that's that main quantum computing momentum name. So yeah, look at this one right here. They're a $2.6 billion company. And yeah, basically whenever the quantum names move, there's so much momentum in the quantum stocks. Yo, Devish, hope you're having a good day, dude. What's up? And if we look at QUBT, I'm just staying away from them just because look at that. Remember, they're worth $2.5 billion. So the company's worth $2.5 billion, and look at this revenue. 40,000 in the most recent quarter. Like, that's not good. Like, this is the thing, and I'm not trying to be bearish on them because the momentum is so strong. The momentum's all that matters right now for this company. But there's so many other companies with a $2.6 billion market cap with way, way, way better fundamentals. Like this stock we were just looking at down here, InnoData, that has half the market cap and is extremely profitable with Mag 7 customers like InnoData. They're a $1.5 billion company. Or even like a Dave. Hold on, how is Dave doing? That's been our best performer recently. Ticker symbol Dave right here. We're up 210%. I literally bought this company a month ago. Look at this. I bought all my shares right here on this day, and then they're up 200%. But they're only worth $3 billion. Yeah, I bought this company at a near $1 billion market cap. They're worth $3.5 billion. Anyway, let's keep going here. Look at some more stocks to analyze. Been buying heavy on ORLY and CocaCola as well. Yo, King421, that's awesome. Dude, O'Reilly has insane buybacks. That's crazy. Do you like SoFi or NU better? Yeah, dude, I own SoFi. I'll go over SoFi. Yeah, look, so check this out. We do own SoFi. Well, we got 24 shares in them. I'm up a good chunk on them. They're a fintech. They have their own banking charter, and people are really starting to take SoFi serious. The company's close to a new 52-week high, and here's why SoFi deserves it. And I think SoFi is going to continue to win for this right here. Look at their financial services revenue. This is what I love to see. It's doubled. It's up 101% from the previous year. I mean, that's incredible growth, and that's what I look for. And also, we can see the lending business, that their main source of revenue, lending, half the revenue, it's also up 25% from the previous year. So they've just seen some incredible growth. Yo, John Asles, probably said your name wrong. Thanks so much for the gift, dude, for the rose. I really appreciate that, man. But yeah, I really do like SoFi. I have Robinhood, invested a whole. Yo, you got 1,200 invested in 1 month. Yo, that's great. And you made 60, dude. That's better than my first month for sure. You did great, dude. That's awesome, XQC. I just joined the stream and saw you're talking about Lululemon. Can you go back into it? Yeah, Lululemon, the thing is, they lost their margins. The margins collapsed at Lululemon, and that's why the stock has fallen so much. And I'll just be super quick about this. Look at this. So the revenue is up 7. So Lululemon's revenue grew by 7%, but the net income, their net profits, fell by 2%. So what does that mean? It means their margins are collapsing. So that's why I think Lululemon stock is getting hurt so much. They're on track to be more profitable than Nike, which is kind of crazy. But let's keep going here. Is UNH buying with their Optum Tech business at a 13 forward PE? So yeah, the forward PE is hard to judge because there's this thing, if they get accused of fraud, this is why United Health has fallen so much, and I read this somewhere. I don't know if it's fully true, but I think it is. If they get actually accused of fraud, they will get kicked out for 5 years of Medicare and Medicaid. And that's half the revenue. Literally like 47% of the revenue comes from that portion. And if they get kicked off, they won't have that revenue for 5 years, and that'll be devastating. So the future is uncertain, and I think that's why they're trading at this dog cheap 12 PE when they used to literally trade at like 38 times net income. So that is why the stock fell. You know, we actually use OptumRx. We're a customer. And look at this revenue growth. They've had immense pricing power, and this is probably why the government's on them. Look at this right here. Here's why it's crazy. The revenue in 2020, $35 billion. 2024, $133 billion. You know, and United Healthcare, it's growing at a similar kind of insane rate. But anyway, I think United Health is probably is fairly priced right now. Again, not financial advice here. I just started. I have invested on Robinhood, the S&P, NVIDIA. Yo, that's great, dude. NVIDIA's been crushing it. Dude, hold on. Where's NVIDIA? Yeah, look at NVIDIA. They hit an all-time high, I think, yesterday. They're the world's most valuable company. NVIDIA is worth more than Microsoft. Here, I'll show you that. Look at the mega caps up here. NVIDIA, 3.79 trillion. Then Microsoft's at 3.7 trillion. But anyway, anyway, that's a good portfolio. Any tips? You know, just buy and hold companies for the long run. Don't sell out of, you know, don't take a quick profit on a high-quality company. You know, will you invest in United? I'll probably just stay away from United Health. But I do want some healthcare exposure. I don't believe I have any healthcare exposure except one stock. Here, I'll show you the one healthcare stock I own. I don't think it's done too good either. CPRX. They have absolutely no debt. I think I don't remember. Anyway, this company, best healthcare stock I've seen in a long time. They're a small market cap. Yeah, here's my portfolio. Here's my risk on portfolio. We got some big losers in here. Yeah, don't listen to me. We're down bad on Zoom, UiPath, Krispy Kreme donuts. We do got some winners. Here's the all-time performance. All-time, we're up 10%, which isn't stellar performance. So, yeah. Let's keep going here. Yay, no problem, Zio. Yeah, thanks for all the follows. Yeah, if y'all want to support me, make sure to hit the follow, the like button. I'd really appreciate that. And if you want to support me, make sure to watch the stream on YouTube. I'd really appreciate that. Because if you're on the TikTok stream and it gets randomly taken down, it's because of TikTok. So if you just want to help me, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm streaming on there as well. You can replay anything if you missed it. But let's look at Celsius. Yo, dude, literally yesterday I bought a pack of Celsius pink slush flavor. It was like $12. I didn't feel great about the $12, but anyway, this stock has been crushing it. You know, they just, oh no, I didn't buy Celsius. I bought Alani. Sorry, Celsius just acquired Alani. And Alani is now, anyway, this company, the reason they've fallen off their all-time high peak, look at that, it went from 95 to, you know, it even was down to, you know, $20, is because their net income went negative. No one was seeing this. Here's what most people were expecting. Look, they're making 50, 80 million a quarter. Then it went negative. It went negative 18 million, but it's now back positive, 44 million in the most recent quarter. They had some issues with Pepsi, their bottler. Revenue still down 7.5% year over year, but we're seeing the growth come back to Celsius, which is good news. But they just sell a drink, a commodity. They really gotta stay on top of things. A lot of biotechs have no debt and decent cash from grants. 10% in how long? Yo, I forgot what I was saying there about 10%. Yeah, the biotechs have no debt. Oh, yeah, a lot of them are like that. But yeah, here's CPRX. You know what? Let me show you this healthcare stock. Let me analyze it for you. Here's what I look at for a stock. So This whole company is worth $2.7 billion. So the whole company's worth $2.7 billion. And look at this net income that they're making. This is so impressive. They had a one-time adjustment back here where it was negative, but they're making $200 million a year. The whole company's worth $2.6 billion. So their PE ratio, they're trading at 14 times net income. That's a dog cheap valuation. So they're trading at 14 times net income. And look, dang, how much cash do they have? I haven't looked at this in a while. And they have 500, look at record cash on the left there. 580 million of cash. That's 20% of the market cap. So 20% of their market cap is their net cash on hand that's earning interest. And then they're making 200 mil a year. So CPRX, I mean, the risk to reward just looks good to that one for me. I wouldn't have a huge chunk of your portfolio on that one, but I own them for a reason. Because the fundamentals are good. Yo, someone said FedEx. Let's check out FedEx. Didn't they just report earnings? Yo, this is like that shipping company where you like deliver packages and stuff. So, they have like high fuel costs and stuff, CapEx heavy business. But yeah, look at that. The stock has kind of been flat since 2017. The stock hasn't moved, which is unfortunate. They did just partner with Amazon to pick up some extra shipping stuff. But look, the yield is good here. You get a 2.5% dividend yield, and the payout ratio is only a 33%. So actually, they actually got room to raise their dividend if they wanted to. So that's cool. But let's see how the net income's doing, because that's what matters. So net income, it was up 11%. So it is kind of been struggling, but they're still profitable every quarter. They're making a ton of money. But I think it's just a slow, yeah, look, the revenue is up 0.5%. Like, that's not good growth. The lifeblood of the business is, it's only up 0.5%. So the growth is kind of really slowing there. Amazon's coming for them. If you go to the link tree in my bio, the first link there, you can get the thing I'm on, the software I'm on right here. So someone said GameStop. So dude, the thing about GameStop is this is another, we'll look at AZN after this. The thing about GameStop is they've diluted you so much that they've risen so much money. Look at the market cap. Look in the top right. The whole company of GameStop is worth $10.6 billion. So remember that number right there. The whole company of GameStop is worth $10.6 billion, and they have $6.4 billion of cash. And then they actually just diluted you by another 800 million. So basically they have $7 billion of cash they have no debt whatsoever. So literally 70% of what you're paying at GameStop is their cash on hand. So that's the financials reason I like GameStop. You're definitely not buying them for the fundamentals, because the fundamentals are terrible. Look at this. The revenue's down 17%. The revenue is just in crazy declines. And if you look at this net income, the only reason they're net income positive is because they have $7 billion of cash. Think about that. They have $7 billion of cash, and these 1 to 3 week treasuries earning them a bunch of interest. And they just put some of that in Bitcoin. That's why GameStop's been kind of moving lately. GameStop also bought $500 million of Bitcoin, or 500 million of Bitcoin. So so let's go look at AZN. So I haven't heard of this stock right here. So this is AstraZeneca. I haven't heard of that one, but check it out. The stock's actually done pretty good. I mean, they've been kind of flat on the year. Let's go check them out. So they're a huge company, a $216 billion market cap. That's huge. So they're a pharmaceuticals business. And look at their sales, actually. $54 billion of revenue, up 18%. So the revenue has just grown very nicely on that company. And same with the profits. Yeah, wow. Wait, hold on. Revenue's up 7%, but the net income is up 33%. That's incredible net income growth. Or margin expansion. Yeah, 21% net margins, and that's real. So, hey, and a 2.2% dividend yield. Someone said AZN is a heater. I interned for them. Oh, is a heater. Wait, that's interesting. Let's see. What about Pepsi? Can we look at Coin? Ain't no way you asked for GameStop. All right, let's see. Let's go look at Pepsi. Dude, Pepsi's another company that's kind of been struggling recently. Look, dang, is that a new 52-week low on Pepsi? That's so weird. The stock market, the SPY, the QQQ is at all-time highs right now, but Pepsi's been struggling lately. I don't think it's the weight loss prescriptions. I love their products. They own Gatorade, they own Cheetos, Doritos, so much stuff. They have a huge snack business. But a lot of people like Doritos. I mean, a lot of people like Pepsi right now for the dividend. Look at that. They get a 4.3% dividend. So you literally get over 4% of your money back a year just from a dividend, 1% of your money back a quarter. And the PE ratio is dog cheap. Pepsi trading at 18 times net income, that's really fair. So, and the net income's very strong. I think the dividend's safe. That's the thing about Pepsi. I think they're going to They're big enough to keep their dividend. And look at that. They're making 2 to 3 billion of net income every quarter. They've bought some new companies, some healthier companies. So I just think Pepsi will get through this. But it's tough. They're at a new 52-week low today. Dang. I wonder if there's some underlying stuff that I don't know about Pepsi as why they're falling. I haven't done too much research. Because if we look at Coca-Cola stock's at all-time highs. AZN also makes COVID vaccines. They're made. Okay, that's interesting. What do you think of ATRO? Yo, M, we'll look at ATRO after this. I wanted to look at Coinbase real quick. So yeah, yo, what15? How's it going, man? So here's Coinbase. You know, they partnered with like JP Morgan to make like a stable coin card, or there was something like that. There was some like good news about Coinbase, and I forget what it was. I think it was that they partnered with like JP Morgan. Anyway, we can see their active users. Let's see how much active users they got. That's an important metric. Look at this. They have 9.7 million monthly transacting users. That's actually a cool stat there that we can see. What about net income? Yeah, look at that. They're making net income every quarter. Looks like they make most of their net income in like that one quarter every year. But still, if you average out the 4 quarters, they're extremely profitable, making hundreds of millions a year. Same with, what about FCF? Yeah, I mean, the free cash flow went negative in the most recent quarter. It did for a lot of companies because they invested a lot in the tariff stuff. But Coinbase is solid. I think they're in the S&P 500 as well. So let's look at ATRO. What's this company? And yeah, what15? Thanks for the gift there. I appreciate you, homie. If you got a stock you want me to look at, let me know. Rain Metal is up so much today. RHM. Yo, that's not their ticker symbol. I'll look it up, but I think their ticker symbol is something different, and I'll look at Rain Metal for you. So here's ATRO. Yeah, what's up, M? So this is a small company. They're worth $1.2 billion. So not huge, but not too small either. So $1.2 billion company. They're in aerospace. So I do like the aerospace and defense stocks. And look at the revenue growth. It's actually really good. It's up 17% year over year. So they're growing double digits, their aerospace business. What about profits? Well, wait, hold on. That's real. They really made 10 million of net income in the most recent quarter. So that's real net income that they made. Yeah, ATRO looks solid. I mean, I like the aerospace industry. They just made net income, and I guess they're expected to keep on making net income as well. So ATRO isn't bad if you're looking for an aerospace name. Didn't realize I have 7 billion of cash. Yeah, that's a good thing, Ryan GME, about GameStop. That's good news. So if I can look up RHM, let's see if we can find that one. Yeah, I'll type it in for you. Rain Metal. And if I can't, I think it's like a different ticker symbol. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. It's right here. Okay, RNMBY. So we can look at the stock price. They're at all-time highs right now. Look at that. So I think this is another aerospace and defense stock. And look at this one. All-time high today. I think they're a European company, but there's low volume because it's international, but they've done great. Congrats if you own them. Let's see. So yeah, they're in vehicle systems, weapon, power solutions, net income positive. So yeah, dang, they've really expanded their margins. I can see why people like Rain Metal. Applesauce. What's up, dude? He said IBM. So IBM, they're finally innovative again. They're being priced away from like a HP and a Dell. They're finally getting like a premium valuation. They're getting into quantum chips. Look at that. The stock's at like a new 52-week high today, which is great. Congrats if you own them. And if you buy them right now at all-time highs, it's still not terrible. You still get a 2.3% dividend yield. So that's the good news. What's the valuation? So a 50 PE, that is a high PE. So they're in software, consulting, infrastructure. So they're diversified, 3 main segments of business. Where does the revenue come from? Let's see. Is it internationally diverse? So actually only 40% of the revenue comes from the US. Anyway, looks like they've had some one-time adjustments to their net income. That's why the PE ratio is so high. So they're actually making like 2 to 3 billion of net income a quarter. So yeah, IBM's cool. Congrats if you own them. They're at all-time highs. Yo, what up, Jim? He said YOO. Is that a stock right there? Or maybe saying yo, or maybe it means yo, JM. If you got a stock you want me to look at, let me know. What's the best investment plan to do if I'm 14? Yo, you cannot have an account unless you're 18. So you have to actually go to your parent and ask them to open a custodial Roth IRA for you. So best way to do it, I would just pull up Google Gemini, ChatGPT, just be like, it's super simple too. They could probably do it in less than 20 minutes. Just like custodial Roth IRA, how to. And Yeah, ADNAN. This is my Nathan Robert account got permanently banned. If you go to Nathan Robert on TikTok, it doesn't exist. So my main account's been taken down, and I'm scared this account's going to get taken down. So if you want to support me, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is called Nathan Robert. It's also in the link tree in my bio. JM says I own 8 stocks. Nice. Pepsi struggling due to new government regulation on food dyes. Oh, that's interesting. You know, Coca-Cola. Let's see how Coca-Cola's doing. Here they are. So they've actually done pretty decent though. Coca-Cola hasn't been experiencing that, but yeah. What do you hold? Yo, if you go to my stock, if you go to my YouTube channel, I do a portfolio. I reveal every single stock that I own, how much I'm up and down on them. I have 4 different portfolios. I have a Roth IRA as well. So here's my main taxable account right here. I got every stock in here's in the S&P 500, and then I have my risk on portfolio over here. So if you just want to see every stock that I own, how much I'm up and down, and why I own them, go to my YouTube channel. I go over every stock on there. So anyway, appreciate y'all. Let's keep going here. Yo, Warner Brothers. What's the ticker symbol for that one? Is it WBD? Let's check it out. Warner Bros. Discovery. So let's check that out. Oh, yo, then we'll look at BLK. I got 5 shares back when it was, oh, nice, of IBM. So here's Warner Bros. Discovery. They split off from AT&T a while ago. You know, they own things like Cartoon Network, streaming, studios. How's their studio business doing? So yeah, it's tough because like their main business isn't really growing too much anymore. They're kind of being taken away from like a Netflix, like a Disney Plus subscription is kind of coming for them. Because yeah, look at this revenue. The business isn't doing too good. The revenue's down 10% year over year, and they're losing a lot of net income. I know AT&T gave a lot of debt to Warner Bros. Discovery. So it's just, I think they just announced like a split off too. They're going to spin off another segment of the business. So I don't know. I got to do more research on Warner Bros. Discovery. They're interesting. So here's an asset manager that I love. So y'all have probably heard of this company before. This is Blackrock, and they're an asset manager. So dang, look at them. They've done really good. And they own a bunch of ETFs, like a gold ETF. And look at this right here. They just released a new Bitcoin ETF. You probably heard of that one. And if we go to their alternatives revenue, which is 13% of their business, it just jumped up like crazy from the new fees that they're making from their crypto ETFs, which is kind of cool. But they're in so many different industries. I love how diversified that they are. So I do really like BlackRock. And if you look at the net income, I mean, they're crushing it, making $1.5 billion in net income every quarter. So that's great. I have a custodial account. Oh, great. That's what's up, dude. Let's keep going. Yo, Jeff Mack, how are you, dude? He's LYV. Jeff Mack, how's it going, man? I increased my stake in InnoData this week a lot, including big increase today. Dude, no. I'll be really quick about this. If we go over here to our Roth IRA right here, wow, it's up 5% on the day. That's mainly from InnoData right here. This is a small cap I've kind of been talking about for a while. I really like this one. Again, with these riskier stocks, they have like a $2 billion market cap. You don't want to have a huge chunk of your portfolio in them. I have a lot of stocks like that, kind of like a Robinhood, a SoFi, a Reddit, Supermicro. You know, they're fun companies to just have like a little bit of money in, and they have good fundamentals too. So here's LYV. I almost got the wrong stock right there. LYV. So Live Nation Entertainment. Oh, so this is like Ticket.com. I forgot about them. Like, have you heard of like those? There was a bunch of scams around like the Taylor Swift concert tickets through Live Nation. There was a whole lot of shenanigans. I remember hearing about this company. They own the ticket. Yeah, I'm gonna add this stock to my watch list just because I didn't know that. Let's see how their ticketing revenue's doing. Sponsorships and advertising, concerts. So yeah, they just do a bunch of concerts and stuff like that, like for Taylor Swift. And look at this net income right here. They are actually making a lot of money, hundreds of millions a quarter. I mean, they made 500 million that one quarter. I mean, yeah, that was real. So that's interesting. And no dividend on that company. I bet they're doing stock buybacks because their stock is at like all-time highs. Yeah, my phone is getting low here. I had a portable charger. Oh, here it is. All right, we got the portable charger. Okay. Do you invest in crypto? I don't. Yo, Khalil, I don't really. I do own some stocks that move with crypto. Like I've Robinhood stock, but I don't actually own any crypto, and I kind of regret that because you've seen how Bitcoin is doing. It's done great. Yo, King42 said I bought 300 shares of SRFM. Let's check it out. So SRFM stock. So Surf Air Mobility. So let's see. They're up 33% on the day. Let's see. So yeah, this is a really small one. So I would be careful. You know, the whole company is worth 62 million. So, but they're up 33% on the day. That's great. What's their revenue? So, ooh, this isn't great. But okay, so it's tough comparison. So the revenue fell 23%, but that's after being up 500%. So that's all right. They're getting close to profitability. Yeah, they're losing way less money. They're super leveraged. They have twice as much liabilities as assets. Whoa, hold on, look at that. I did not notice this. This is why I sometimes like scrolling down to the shareholders. Palantir is the largest shareholder of this stock. That's interesting. That's actually crazy. 23% of the company is owned by Palantir. Huh. Interesting. I'd still be careful. They have a really double leverage balance sheet. They're getting super close to profitability. The growth was kind of there on the sales. I would have to sell my house in order to buy one Bitcoin. Wait. I would have to sell my house. Is your house worth 100,000 exactly? Let's see. What's Bitcoin at? Bitcoin's at 107,000. Look at that. It's pretty close to all-time highs. I think he's just saying that as like yeah. But let's see. Thoughts on Archer? It's the 2026 Olympic sponsor. So here's the one thing I've looked at this company. Yeah, I've looked at this company a lot, and here's why I can't touch it. I cannot buy this company, but I hope you make money on it. This whole company worth $7 billion. So remember, Archer Aviation's worth $7 billion. This is a startup, by the way. They have never sold a single dollar of revenue ever. So there's no revenue. I click on revenue here, it says no data because they've never sold anything. And if we go to the net income, here's the bad news. They're losing 100 million of net income every quarter. So I bet they have contracts. I bet they will make money in the future. But for right now, I mean, they don't sell anything. There's no revenue. And they're losing 100 mil a quarter. They lost 200 million last quarter. The balance sheet's really good, though. There's no chance of bankruptcy. The reason the balance sheet's so good is because they're diluting you. They're issuing shares. But I bet they do have some contracts like, oh yeah, like look, in 2 quarters, the revenue is expected to go from 0 to 2 million. So hey, there's that. But I just can't pay a $6 billion valuation on a company with literally no revenues and losing 100 million a quarter. I mean, there's so many way better companies for at a $6 billion market cap, in my opinion. Let's see. Yo, what up, Ash? How's it going, man? All right, honestly, it's the 2026 Olympic sponsor. Hey, that could, maybe that's why their net income is so negative. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's the thing about Archer. Just because they have no revenue, I don't mean to bag on anyone's stock there. But we'll look at race after this. Here's Walmart right here. So yeah, this is just your basic grocery store. We've all heard of Walmart before, and the grocery stores have low-key been performing very good. Look at that. Walmart's pretty close to an all-time high right now, and you get a pretty good yield, basically 1% dividend on Walmart. And they own Sam's Club as well. If anyone's heard of Sam's Club before, it's like a Costco competitor. You buy stuff in bulk there, so you got a good deal. And you have to have a subscription to get into the store. It's a great business model, kind of like just like Costco. Costco's a great performer as well. But yeah, look at this money. Walmart's making $5 billion of net income every quarter. So Walmart's been crushing it. Can't go wrong just buying and holding them on for the long run. So yeah. TSLA. So yeah. Oh, I wanted to look at race. You know what? We'll compare race versus Tesla. So we'll look at Ferrari versus Tesla. The analysis. So here's Ferrari right here. Great, amazing company. Look at that. Ferrari is nearly at all-time highs, and hey, they don't have a CEO that's getting into politics and stuff. Actually, I like Elon. I'm not trying to. I don't. Anyway, let's go look at Ferrari right here. They have a dividend, 0.5% yield, which is pretty decent. But Ferrari's customer isn't really affected by the tariffs and inflation in a recession. Ferrari's customers just aren't affected by that. And look at this net income they're making. In this environment, it's so impressive. They're really making 400 million of net income a quarter, and it's growing double digits. That is insane. So Ferrari deserves to be at all-time highs. So we just saw Ferrari's net income increase, double digits. Now let's go compare that to a Tesla. And obviously, I'll just start with this. Tesla has terrible fundamentals, like terrible. The only reason their market cap is so high is because the future. If you think they're going to be like robo-taxi and robots, that's where their huge market cap comes from, because the underlying business is struggling very hard, and the numbers agree with me. I mean, I'll just show you the numbers for yourself. Here's why a lot of people don't like Tesla. It's because the numbers are terrible. Look at their total vehicles delivered. Their total vehicles delivered are down 13% year over year. And look at that. If we go to their automotive revenue, which is the sales, the car sales, that's 85% of the revenue. And look how it's doing. That aligns up with the numbers. The automotive revenue is down 16% from the previous year. And so they lost their growth on a company that trades at 180 times net income. And also, here's the other bad news. They lost their margins like crazy. So if we go to the net income down here, look at the net income. It fell 70% from the previous year. They only had 420 million of net income. So the revenue fell 9. So still, there's no chance of bankruptcy at Tesla, but the growth is just gone. The revenue's down 9, but the net income is down 70. That means Tesla's margins are collapsing. They just have a 2% net margin in the most recent quarter. Let's just hope these are some well, it's not. The total vehicle, I don't know. I just stay away from Tesla. I can't pay that valuation. They trade at literally 180 times net income. It's just tough to pay that. But if they're right about the robo-taxi and the robots, then maybe that valuation's justified. Could be. Should I sell my shares? I don't know. Maybe trim it. I just stay out of that one. Same with like Lucid, Rivian, they're doing terrible. But someone said AST Space Mobile. Wow, look at this stock the past couple of weeks here. I mean, they've absolutely blown up. Look at that. Is that all-time high? Yeah, all-time high on AST Space Mobile. So if you've ever bought this stock, you're definitely up on your money. Oh, and look at these revenue estimates. Check that out. Right now the revenue isn't much. Look, 700,000 in the most recent quarter. It's nothing. But look, the orange line in 2 quarters, it grows to 23 million. So I guess that means they're expected to just explode their revenue up higher. I know they have contracts with like NASA and a bunch of space companies, and that revenue will recognize in the future. So I wonder if the reason they've rallied up so much recently is because they also got like another new contract or something. Who knows? Could be interesting to see. So Oh yeah, let's go back to this one. So SHAK, yo, did y'all know Shake Shack? Has anyone heard of that restaurant, Shake Shack, with like super long lines and stuff? They're a stock, and did you know they're at all-time highs today? I didn't know that either. Look at that, Shake Shack, all-time highs today on them. That's really interesting. Let's see how they're doing. So Shake Shack, they do 300 million of revenue a quarter. That's good. It's growing double digits. It grew 10%, but the net income's a little choppy, but looks like overall they're making net income. They're not making much, like 10 million a quarter or something, but it's cool to see that they're profitable. They're doing good. I know, they got good priced food. So yeah, here, I'll go back to this really quickly. Yo, what up, Huckleberry? Said Coinbase to the moon, bought at 110. Hey, yeah, is that because of Robinhood? I wonder, there was some news, I forget about them. Yeah, look at these market caps right here. Nvidia's worth 3.79 trillion, and then Microsoft 3.7, Apple's at 3 trillion. I remember Apple used to be the world's largest. Then Nvidia and Microsoft took them over. So all right, let's keep going here. Oh yeah, Coinbase. Let's go look at them, and then we'll look at we'll look at Zim. Yo, what up, MacGyver? We'll look at Zim. Look at Coinbase. Yeah, 52-week high on them. I don't remember the news. Did they get added into the S&P 500? Like the news tab just wants to like annoy me. I'm not even stable coin issuer boosts Coinbase. I don't really know. There may be some kind of stable coin credit card with Coinbase. I don't know. I think they also, oh my gosh, TikTok. Oh, I hate you, TikTok. Okay, it said I was AFK. We're back now on TikTok. All right, let's go. So anyway, Coinbase right here, they're like a Bitcoin proxy. They follow Bitcoin, but look at this right here. This is the most important metric. 9.7 million monthly transacting users. That's so important. Charlie, what app is this? Oh, hey, if you want to get this app that I'm on right here, oh, they took it out of my bio. Or if you go to the link tree in my bio, it should be the very first link there. If the link tree isn't in my bio, then there's my link tree. It's the first link if you want to get the app I'm on. But anyway, it's free. But Coinbase, they're super net income positive as well. They're being so innovative, which is great. But they're making, if you average out the 4 quarters here, they're making hundreds of millions in net income a quarter. So that's the good news about Coinbase. They're really profitable. And they're innovative with this new card. I think it's with MasterCard. Oh, okay. Let's see how MasterCard's doing. MasterCard. Hey, Here they are. These payment processors just print money. Those small micro transaction fees that are slowly bankrupting us are making Visa and MasterCard rich. How much money is MasterCard making? 3 billion of net income a quarter. It's crazy. So let's see. How about Zim? Oh yeah, then we'll look at Wingstop. Yo, Wingstop's a cool royalty company. So here's Zim right here, Zim Integrated Shipping. So this company has a rule where this is a dividend play, where whenever they make net income, 50% of the net income they make will be returned in a dividend. So look at this, for the past year, they're making net income every quarter, and half of that they return. If you look at the last year when there wasn't any like supply chain logistics problems, they were losing a lot of money, and you didn't get paid any dividends those quarters. So it all kind of relies on how much they make. And check this out though. Look at 2022. They paid you $27 in dividends that year. Well, the whole company is worth $15 a share, so you got a literal 100% of your money back in the dividend that year, which is cool. So anyway, let's keep going here. Oh yeah, Wingstop. Yeah, we'll look at Oscar Health and Nebius. We can look at these. They got allowed to use for crypto. Echem. Okay, cool. I didn't know that. So here's Wingstop right here. So this is a really cool company. They're a royalty and kind of real estate company, kind of like McDonald's. And check this out. Oh, it's not. I have to scroll back to find this. They have like 3 main segments of revenue, and it might not load. So yeah, look at that. 45% of the revenue, 45% of it comes from, look at that, their royalty revenue. So half the revenue comes from their royalties. So whenever you go spend $100 at any Wingstop, I think like 4% or $4 of that goes back to the parent company. It's like a royalty or something. Anyway, then they have their advertising fees and then the company-owned restaurants. So they do own some of the own stores themselves. 20% of the revenue comes from their company-owned stores. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is here, look at the net income. It just blew up. Well, it's kind of like a one-time tax adjustment, actually. But still, the business is great numbers. They're super profitable every quarter. And I think they do these special dividends as well. You get a normal dividend. It's low, a 0.3% dividend, but they're doing crazy special dividends. Okay. Okay. I'm having some Wi-Fi issues, so if the stream is lagging, I apologize. And if you want to help me out, hey, make sure to hit the follow button. We go live every day, but if you want to support me, by the way, well, looks like I'm. Damn that! Why is it so loud? Oh, and I just moved that. Okay. Yo, it's hot outside. It is hot in my room. Okay, hopefully we're back. Thanks for being here. I'm probably have to end the stream here. But I appreciate y'all. Hey, if you want to support me, just subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's called Nathan Robert. We'll keep on streaming until the Wi-Fi doesn't allow us to anymore. Dang, even my phone's moving slow now on the screen. That's not good. Yeah, Wingstop's a cool company. Let me just try and like show you my portfolio I can talk about for a second. Yeah, here's my main account, by the way. Is that updated? Yeah, look, whoa. We're at the market closes in 9 minutes, by the way. So market closes in 9 minutes. We're at a new intraday high right now. Every stock I own is up on the day. McDonald's just went green. Let's go. So unstable internet connection. Yo, hey, if the stream ends, then we're going to be streaming later tonight. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do a late night live stream. So if you want to hit the follow button for that. And by the way, I sell nothing. I don't have a course book. I'm just on here giving my opinion. Only thing I do have is YouTube channel. Dave said QNCX. Check it out if it'll let us. Quince Therapeutics. So yeah, $78 million company. So a very small market cap. $78 million market cap. And this, yeah, look at this stock on the weekly. The stock is pretty much at all-time low. So I'd be super careful with this company. So let's see yeah. Something just happened to my Wi-Fi. I don't know what's wrong, so I'll probably have to go after this. But yeah, thanks again for being here. Yeah, look at the revenue right here. So remember, the whole company's for $60 million. They have no revenue. This is a revenue-less company. That's why it says no data right there. And they're losing 10 to 15 million a quarter with no revenue on a company that are 78 million. So this company honestly is gonna go bankrupt. Okay.